Welcome back to the Daily Brief. Remember, you can keep interacting with us on the show. The hashtag is K24 Daily Brief. Tweet us or Facebook us on @K24 TV and talk to us regarding what is happening where you are. Not forgetting the sign language interpreter this morning right now is Josephine Kimathi. For now, we'll be taking you back to Samuel Joroge, who will continue the briefing for the next half hour.
Thank you so much, Shiksha Arora, for that. Indeed, the briefing continues right here at K24 TV, and we shall continue to let you know what is happening around the country, the region, and beyond. And for now, we'd like to cross over to Nyeri County, and we will be interacting with Wahu Ngoge, who will be joining us live from that region for an update in as far as what will be happening in Nyeri today is concerned. Also from Parliament, it will be quite busy. Various committees are meeting today to touch on various issues. But before we get into that, Uhuru Kenyatta is today flying to Moroto, Uganda, where he is expected to sign a bilateral agreement with his host Yoweri Museveni. The deal will compel Kenya to disarm Turkana pastoralists, and under the agreement, pastoral communities will be allowed to share social facilities, environmental resources, and economic infrastructure. It will also facilitate peaceful cross-border movement of livestock in search of pasture and water during drought. And that is an issue definitely that we keep following up for you right here on the show. Elsewhere is that Deputy President William Ruto today kicks off a 5-day tour of the coast region, where he will launch a number of development projects. He will be in Tana River today, where he will inspect the Korakora Canal water and the coconut nuts project. He will later proceed to Kilifi, where he will commission the Baricho water stabilization supply and visit the National Irrigation Board project on cashew nuts and coconut. And as far as sports is concerned, the 2-day World Athletics Championships trials kick off today at the Nyayo National Stadium. Athletics Kenya will be using the event to pick the squad to the Global Track and Field Contest that starts on September 27th in Doha, Qatar. The highlight of today will be the men's 5,000 meters event. And to a bit of politics now is the Third Way Alliance party leader Ekuru Aukot will today address journalists on the progress of the Punguza Mizigo bill. In particular, Aukot will seek to address happenings in Kirinyaga and Siaya counties where the bill has been met by opposition. Last but not least, as we told you earlier, committees of the House will be meeting today on various agenda, and embattled Samburu County Governor, that is Moses Lenol Kulal, will today appear before Senate's County Public Accounts and Investments Committee to shed light on audit queries. Lenol Kulal has not been able to access his office since July after a court barred him over an ongoing fraud case. So that remains to be our news diary as of now. These are the priority stories that we're following up for you right here at K24 TV. But besides that, we keep interacting with our reporters who are on location to just brief us on what's happening where they are. And right now, we bring in our reporter Wahu Ngoge. She's joining us live from Nyeri County with an update from that. And thank you for joining us, Wahu. Kindly update us on what's happening in Nyeri today.
Well, good morning, Sam. And in Nyeri today, we have so many activities. Actually, I'm still in Kafirene Showground where the show started yesterday, and it's still going on today. Today is Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. And so, Sam, apart from the show that's going on, later on in the day, we'll have public participation. You remember earlier last week, or rather about last week, we were talking about public participation where taxes were added in different places. So actually today the public there will be a public participation where the public will be giving their views or what they think about the taxes that were added and the other ones. So we will go there later in the course of the day and listen into what they have to to say. But right about now, Sam, I'm in Kafirene and I'm in stand ya KWS. Of late, the wildlife has been, the wild animals, sorry, has become a pain to some of the farmers around Mount Kenya Forest and Aberdare Forest. And that's why I'm with the KWS officials so that they can explain to us what they are doing about the wild animals. And then apart from that, they're introducing people go hiking in the mountain, and that's very dangerous. Maybe if there are cautions or people who will be there with them to save them when accident occurs. I'm joined by Simon Gitao Ngugi, who's the Assistant Director of KWS. Karibia tu hapa. And who will be, sorry, so it's okay. So maybe, Simon, if you can explain to the viewers of K24, maybe what measures have you put in to make sure that hizi simba zimetokea Mount Kenya na zinastua watu, pengine hazijaribu vitu na hazijakula watu na wanyama, and then maybe about the hiking, maybe unaweza guzia kidogo as we go to somebody else.
Kwanza nianze na mazuri. The lions or the wildlife and the wild animals is part of our heritage. Even before independence, people are living freely and wildlife was roaming freely across the country. So what I would like to say is that we should see the animals as part of us. It's part of our heritage, and it's God's plan that we live together with these animals. However, of course there are limits when some issues comes like predating on domestic animals and also raiding people's farms. And I would like to say that when you come to the issue of elephants, which has been actually a thorn in the flesh when it comes to Mount Kenya National Park, we have had the people of Mount Kenya West having a lot of issues with elephant menace. But I would like to say that we have made efforts. As of now, we are at kilometer 170. We have covered Kirinyaga County, we have covered Ebu County, we have covered Tharaka Nithi County, and we are now in Meru County. People of Nyeri, be patient. However, we have carried out some mitigation measures. We have had a lot of crop lading near Roisoi, Thego, and Githungo, and all those areas near Chaka. And I know people have lost property, and also they have lost, they have incurred losses, especially those people who do vegetables like cabbages. I would like to say that we sorted out that issue. We put a 4-strand fence. It's not the main comprehensive fence around Thego area. And we are going to continue maybe the section that is not already covered. Those elephants moved to the northwest. They actually near Gakawa, the area near Baguret and near Nanyuki. Last week they moved further near Silimon. And I would like to say that I had a meeting with His Excellency the Nyeri Governor 2 weeks ago. I have actually spoken to the MCAs in that area, and we have agreed that we are going to join hands together with Rhinoark and Mount Kenya Trust. And we are addressing the issues. We have already started bringing in some materials, and what you will not have will appeal to the other government or the county government to assist in the effort. We will put a stopgap measure, which is a 4-strand fence, as we wait for the comprehensive fence. I would like to tell the people of Nyeri, I know it's an issue of food security, it's in my heart. Yeah, because I'm also a parent. I know what people go through when wildlife raids their farms. So I would actually request for patience. We'll get over this. Then the issue of lions. We have received sporadic reports from different areas. Ramuria, the area near Kihato, Gatuanyaga, and other areas. I would like to request the people in those areas to be calm. Those lions keep on moving out and inside. They have actually went out or sneaked out of the main conservation area in Sorio Ranch. We had a meeting the day before yesterday with the manager Sorio, and we have agreed with the management that they are going to make sure that the hose, which the fence which has been damaged in most of the parts by the warthogs, they are going to repair the fence. But most of the lions are actually not in the people's areas. They're actually in the livestock area in Sorio. The Sorio is divided into several sections. There's conservation area, and then the the grazing area for the livestock. That's where they are.
Yeah, okay.
And
Mr.
so
Gita.
people should not panic.
Yeah.
When they see lions, please don't chase them, don't shout, please make a call.
Hiyo
Yeah.
kitu ni mbaya lakini. So let's go to good news about hiking.
Yes. One, I would like to invite the people to Mount Kenya National Park. And may I say that hiking is not the only activity that takes place in Mount Kenya National Park.
Yeah.
We have climbing, which is different from hiking. We have people who want to attempt the main peaks, which is a bit difficult. But of late, we have so many Kenyans who are actually practicing on how to climb. We are going to talk about that tomorrow. We are going to bring equipment from the mountain rescue team, who part of the team will be here demonstrating what we can offer, how we carry out rescue and evacuations on that mountain. And I would like to say that Mount Kenya is one of the few parks in the country where you are allowed to walk without an armed escort. You can walk freely as long as you are more than one person. But I usually tell people it is always important to take a guide. One, you are creating job opportunities. Number two, you need a local person who understands the area and who knows what to do in case of anything. So always I recommend, please take a guide, and especially the local guides. Yeah.
Well, I understand that I have to take this back to studio. Maybe some you've heard from Mr. Gitao Ngugi, and he says that people around Mount Kenya region should not panic because of the lions. Ziko, lakini if at all hujazichokoza hakuna kitu zinaweza kufanyia, so they are taking care of that, and then now everything will be okay very soon. So Sam, I take this back to you in studio. I'll catch up with you later.
Thank you so much, Wahu Ngoge, for that update live from Nyeri County. And also happening today, we'd like to take you to Parliament, specifically the Senate, where our reporter Anders Ihachi will be having a sitting with the Speaker of the Senate, that is Ken Lusaka. Article 126 of the Constitution will be actualized, courtesy of the Senate now holding its second Senate Mashinani initiative in Kitui County. They will be discussing that and much more during this interview. So, Anders, thank you so much for joining us now. Over to you.
Thank you very much and good morning, Njoroge. We are here at Parliament buildings and in the office of the Speaker of the Senate, Ken Lusaka, trying to indulge into quite a number of issues concerning the Senate Mashinani initiative, which is resuming on Monday. We are being informed that the Senate will be moving to Kitui County after this initiative was started in Gishu County a few months ago. But before we go into that matter, we just want to do a little bit about the Division of Revenue Bill, which brought a standoff between the Senate and the National Assembly. Maybe thank you very much, Speaker, for joining us. The Division of Revenue Bill now is a matter that is ongoing, and we expect that the bill will be signed by the President after being passed by both the houses anytime this week or next week. Maybe what informed the Senate to soften its stance about and adopting the 316 billion?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the Senate decided that, let us be patriotic because the counties who are suffering, and one of our main mandate is to safeguard the counties and the county interests. So we felt that with the continued hustling and, the mediation was not going on well, there was just it turned into a shouting match. We realized that we were not doing very well for the counties, and therefore we wanted to remain above board. So that's why the Senate decided that let us agree that whatever money that has been availed be given to the counties, and so that they are able to make progress. Then we can look for lasting solutions, because I know this kind of thing will keep coming. And we must therefore find a lasting solution, which I think is now in the process, because we must find a mechanism, just like the national government, where the county governments can be able to access money, some percentage of money. In case there's a stalemate like this, are they able to get money the way the national government gets money to continue with their programs uninterrupted? So we are looking at that, and we are working on how this problem can be sorted out once and for all. Yesterday, the bill was passed by the Senate, and we're hoping that it will also be passed by the National Assembly this afternoon. Then thereafter, it will be taken to the President for assent.
Thank you very much. Now, the Senate Mashinani initiative, many people are saying after the Uasin Gishu one, have you reviewed the progress, and when you're moving to Kitui, what will be the benchmarking process?
Yeah, there were a lot of lessons learned in Uasin Gishu. Remember, we were there between 24th and 28th of September last year, and this time we are going to Kitui from Sunday, then officially from Monday to Saturday. Again, this gives an opportunity to county assemblies to learn best practices from the Senate, because we are like the bigger brother up here, and also give an opportunity to Mwananchi to be able to interact with the Senate. Remember, when we was in Gishu last year, the biggest challenge then was maize, the maize issue, and it became very hot. You remember when we had a meeting in the town hall in Eldoret, and it became very, very hot. But we are glad that after that, a task force was formed to address the issues of maize once and for all. So we are also expecting that as we go to Kitui, there are a number of issues that have been brought out, and the Senate will be able to do that. Apart from having plenary sessions in Kitui, we'll have our committees, for example, interrogating the accounts of Makueni, Machakos, Nyeri, and Garissa. So, and then after that, like yesterday, an issue came up in the plenary yesterday about a hospital that has been closed, seemingly because of insecurity in quotes of the workers. So I gave a directive that when we are in Kitui, the entire health committee and any other interested senator will go to that hospital to establish what the problem is. And of course, we're also expecting that we'll get petitions from the local issues in Kitui, which we'll be able to address while on the ground. We'll also be able to, for example, there was a spillage of oil in some part of that of Kitui. So again, the Committee of Energy will be getting there to find out exactly what is happening. So it's going to be, we have a full tray of what we are going to see. And you know, the leadership has already gone to Kitui, and there's a lot of excitement about it. And Wananchi are very eager, because we have also put screens all over in town for them to be able to follow, because all of them will not be able to fit in the chamber. So they will be able to see how Senate operates. And again, this also gives the Senate visibility, because you see, we are dealing with county issues, and therefore that's why that decision was made by the Senate. Instead of just remaining in Nairobi, let us go around the country also for people to be able to feel what the Senate does.
Maybe the issue about public participation, now that maybe they'll be following the sessions in the chambers, and maybe a few of them might get an opportunity to be in the committees to see how things are conducted. But for the public, this issue of public participation, how are you going to undertake it, especially now this being the second county you are visiting under the Senate Mashinani initiative? We'll
accord the people in Kitui an opportunity in the program sometime to be able to interact with them, let them raise the issues that they have there. What are the issues that affect them? And this is just the way we did in Uasin Gishu. We'll give them an opportunity for them to raise any issues concerning Kitui. And it's not restricted to Kitui, by the way. All the neighboring counties have also been invited to come. The neighboring governors and leaders, the local leaders, even the former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka has also been invited as one, and people like Musila, you know, the prominent Niva Mwendwa, the prominent personalities have also been invited to come and join us, you know, in the plenary when we engage. So I'm looking forward to a very vibrant, a very packed and a very good, enjoyable interaction with the people of Kitui next week.
Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I saw quite a number of centers, I think last month, presenting quite a number of proposals before the BBI. I don't know, how are you going to handle the public participation exercise in case residents of Kitui County and the neighboring counties raise issues concerning a referendum?
The Senate did make a presentation to the BBI team, and luckily, you know, it was also it's being headed by one of our senators, a very experienced senator, Yusuf Haji. So we have also put, you know, our position, and our paper was presented. And remember, this paper was done even during the last session of the Senate, and it was very, very, very comprehensive. Our ideas are there. It was led by Senator Dulo and Moses Wetangula, and there's a few other senators, and you know, we have very good lawyers. Remember, the Senate prides itself of having the three top senior counsel, that is Amos Wako, James Orengo, and Omogeni. So we have very good brains in the Senate. And when they look at the paper that we have presented, I'm sure everybody will be very happy with what we do. So when Wananchi ask us, because nobody has already seen what the BBI has, so people are anxious to see, because you see people are already making judgment, and you know, of course people have seen what the Punguza Mzigo is. They're waiting to see what BBI is. So once it comes out and people look at it, then they will make an informed opinion, decision. And that's what I've been saying, that people need to look at, to interrogate whatever document that will come, so that they are able to make an informed decision. Because again, these are matters that end up affecting the country in future. So this business of maybe just assuming, or you know, say imagining, maybe I read and then tell people this is what it is. I think people should be accorded an opportunity to do what we call sensitized, to be sensitized about what is coming. So we'll tell them, if it comes, let them look at it, look at what is good in the document, and see what is the best for this country. And that's what I've said, that even if a referendum or anything like that were to come, I think we should put the country first. We should not put individuals ahead of that. We should put the country first. For example, if you're talking about more resources going to the counties, for example, that affects everybody. That affects Mwananchi. So that's where the focus should be, that we put Kenya first in anything that we are going to do. And that is my take on that.
From here, moving to Third Way Alliance. They have a briefing this morning on the Punguza Mzigo issue. They are proposing to make the Senate an upper house. Have they approached you as the Speaker or the senators on that matter, now that you have already spoken about the BBI and the Punguza Mzigo?
They have not spoken to us, but like I said, our views are there. But you know, in all jurisdictions, the world over, you know, the problem with us Kenyans is sometimes we take very expensive experiments. You know, you end up with something that is not a donkey, is not a zebra, something in between. So we must be clear. And that will also address the issue that we are now facing, you know, between the two houses. Because we must be able to just be bold enough and say we want two chambers. This is an upper chamber, this is a lower chamber. You look at other jurisdictions where we have borrowed from, South Africa, Australia, France, and we visited all these countries and seen. So that we, you know, one house, the upper house, becomes a house that then serves the house. In fact, to be a senator, if you look at the origins of Senate all over the world, you had to be wealthy, you had to be knowledgeable, and you know, if you look at even the House of Lords in UK, it is a house that has very experienced people. We also have the same here. We have very experienced people, but you see, this problem was created in Naivasha. Bombers of Kenya draft was very clear on what Senate was and what the National Assembly was to be, and it was very clear. But somehow, because those who are working on it were members of parliament, and therefore they fear that, you know, if you put a strong Senate, it may affect. Thank God that most of them have ended up in the Senate today, and therefore they understand that there needs to be a clear distinction between the Senate and the National Assembly, and the powers and what roles that each house plays, because we are not reinventing the wheel. This thing is all over.
Thank you very much, Speaker of the Senate, Ken Lusaka. And Njoroge, now that was the Speaker of the Senate, Ken Lusaka, speaking to us, especially about the issue of the Senate Mashinani initiative, whereby they are going to Kitui County from Monday up through to Friday to quite just see what the residents of Kitui County and the neighboring counties will have to say before the Senate, and also just to benchmark with the County Assembly of Kitui. So from here, we are heading to Third Way Alliance party headquarters, where the Punguza Mzigo press briefing will be happening. Then we'll be briefing our viewers from there, just right from here. Back to you, Njoroge.
Thank you so much, Zihachi, for that particular update live from the Parliament, the Speaker's office to be precise. From the 16th to the 20th of this month, we'll be having the Senate conduct its sittings from Kitui County. And of course, they will also be sensitive to some of the issues that are affecting this particular county. They will also be looking into neighboring counties such as Makueni and Tana River. And it will be interesting to see what issues will come forth courtesy of this initiative. Remember, the first was last year in Uasin Gishu County, where the nation of maize farmers in the country were quite literally aggrieved over delayed payments to maize farmers. So what will be the issues come the visit of the Senate to Kitui this time around? Well, we shall be right here beginning Monday, that is the 16th, next week, all the way to the 20th, and we shall let you know exactly what will be happening in as far as that story is concerned. Right now, we take you to Mombasa County, and we would like to cross over and listen in to a stakeholders forum that is currently ongoing in this county. So let's listen in.
Thank you so much, MC. My name is Geoffrey Mwango, the chair, Kenya Maritime Authority. But before I give my story, Madam PS, Shipping and Maritime, Madam Nancy Karigito, all the representations for the ministry, state departments, and all the institutions which are represented here. So much recognition, together to all the invited distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. When Daudi was mentioning names, I think he forgot to mention me that I'm one of the seafarers. For quite some time, we've worked together with the union, and this is a story which dates quite some long time back, and we are still together, basically pushing and fighting for the betterment of our seafarers, wherever they are, wherever they will be. And given that we have this opportunity and we have this occasion today, then basically we need to give it our best so that the best comes out of our discussion, deliberation, and agreements, so that we forge forward. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are all aware that Kenya is a member of the International Labour Organization, which brings together our governments, employers and workers of member states, which among others, basically it sets the labor standards, and again, they also devise programs that promote decent work conditions in a tripartite manner. And as you may be aware, Kenya has ratified the Maritime Labour Convention of 2006, which basically is an international agreement of the ILO, where it sets out the seafarers' rights to decent conditions of work, and is sometimes called the Seafarers' Bill of Rights. So it applies to all seafarers, whom some of those who have jobs in the hotel industry, those who are in the passenger services, those who are on the cruise ships, and also for those who are in the commercial yachts. So basically it's an all-inclusive discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Seafarers Union of Kenya, which represents the workers' interest in the sector, as well as employment conditions affecting seafarers. However, the union and the employers in the sector have not yet, or they are yet to establish any collective bargaining agreement to inform the remuneration of seafarers. Moreover, the Labour Institutions Act of 2007 has not addressed the remuneration of seafarers in the determination of minimum wages. There is therefore no clear regulatory structure for wages and employment for the sector. This has resulted in numerous complaints raised by seafarers, most of which have not been addressed as we sit here now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is for this reason that the State Department of Shipping and Maritime, the State Department of Labor and Maritime, so the State Department of Labor, together with Kenya Maritime Authority, basically they are at the point developing a sectoral wage council for seafarers to ensure fair remuneration and decent working conditions. Up to this point, therefore, the conference seeks to enhance the social dialogue in the maritime sector, where information is to be shared on employment opportunities, and basically provide stakeholders with a platform to chart the way forward on the establishment of the Wages Council in the maritime sector. Again, the conference seeks to identify the various occupations in the industry, in the sector, where we need to look at the types of vessels, which are the workplaces for the seafarers. We need to look at the challenges faced in the maritime sector, the terms and conditions of service for the sector, and the role each player in the sector needs to play.
So there is a stakeholders forum on fishing and maritime standards that is currently ongoing in Mombasa, courtesy of the Kenya Maritime Authority. And some of the issues that they're currently looking into is the standard wage for seafarers in the country. And presiding over that event is Principal Secretary Maritime Services, that is Nancy Karigethu. We shall be interacting with it in the course of the show. However, for now, we need to take a break. Expect